We have this new set of interactive components for HTML5 Canvas, but how do we interact with them through JavaScript? Conveniently, there are a set of code snippets written for these new components we can use to really tie things together. So here is our video document from before, and I'm going to make some adjustments to my video component on the stage. For one thing, I'm going to give this an instance name of video player. We'll be able to interact with it through JavaScript, so long as it has an instance name. I'm also going to disable autoplay and disable the controls. Now I want a button on the stage, so I'm going to pull over my button component here from my components panel. And let's change the label on this button to play video. And we'll give this an instance name of play btn for play button. And let's make it a little bigger, so 160 by 40. And we'll position it at about 390 along the y-axis and 30 on the x. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and drag another instance of that button over to the side here. And this will be our pause button. So pause btn. And here I'll change the label to pause video. These are all the components I need on the stage, so I'm going to close my components panel. Let's go to our timeline, and we now want to go ahead and choose to open the Actions panel by clicking the Actions layer here, and then choosing Window, Actions. From here, we're able to write any sort of JavaScript that we want to control these different UI components. However, from here, we can also summon the Code Snippets panel. Let's just resize this a bit so it fits on our screen better. And notice that we have code snippets for ActionScript documents, HTML5 Canvas documents, and WebGL documents. Since I'm using an HTML5 Canvas document, I'll twirl that open. And notice we now have a folder for components. We have user interface components, video components, and jQuery UI components. So for instance, I know that I want to play and pause my video. So let's go ahead and select the video player and click play a video and add it to the current frame. So you can see what happens is that we get a little comment in here saying that use this code snippet to play the selected video. We can actually remove that comment. And notice that we're using jQuery to target the video player, which shares the instance name of video player, because that's what I gave it in the properties panel. And it invokes play upon it. Pause is exactly the same, except it invokes pause. So if I go ahead and select our video player once again, choose pause a video, and then add to current frame, removing this comment, we can see that we have instructions to both play and pause the video. What we're going to do is actually wire these instructions to our button UI components. So here is our play button component. We'll have to twirl down user interface here. And right up top is button click event, which is exactly what we want. Let's add that to the current frame. And you can see that here is quite a bit more code. What it's basically doing is checking to see if this particular variable has been set to true. And that happens within here. The reason for this check is because we don't want this function being declared and all these other things happening again and again in case our timeline is looping. So we make this little check. Of course, we can once again remove all these little things. And since this is our play button, we want to cut our play instruction and place it within the actual function here. So there's a function called play button click, which is going to actually play the video player. This function then gets invoked through this bind mechanism here. So on click, play button click, which is the function we just saw. Of course, this .play button click CBK is set equal to true. And in that case, this will only run the one time. All right, so let's click on our pause button and do the exact same thing. Button click event, add it to the frame, and then we just clean up. So removing the comments, cutting our playback instruction for pause, and then adding it into the custom function right here by simply pasting. We'll go ahead and save this and then choose Control Test. All right, here's our video, and it is paused initially. Here are two buttons, play and pause video. Let's try them out. All right, that works perfectly. Using the code snippets for HTML5 components in this way, we can easily add functional code into our project.